Hello, my friends. It's me, Dr. Missy Hillock, and I am here with an energy forecast and oracle card reading for the week of March 8th through 14th, 2026. And what a beautiful week it looks to be indeed, based on the reading that I'm going to share with you. If you remember last week, it was a big energy week because we had that amazing full moon eclipse that happened on the 3rd, and that was on the heels of a solar eclipse that we had had 2 weeks before that. So those 2 weeks together were this like eclipse portal where there were a lot of energies shifting and changing, and that is all now behind us. And we're moving much more toward the spring equinox energy. Kind of all these planets and stars that have been doing some wild things the last few months are moving toward this much more harmonious state and this more balanced state where they're working together more positively than maybe creating some clashes and some upsets and tensions that have been happening before. So great energy that seems to be coming forward. And as I mentioned, the cards that I pulled really amazingly reflected that, which is great news. Let's get started. So the first deck I pulled from is one of my all-time faves, Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This is my powerhouse deck that I love to go to for any and all answers. And as I've mentioned before, I always pull from this deck when I'm ready to hear the message, because the message can be really beautifully profound and uplifting, but it can also show us where there's still some work to be done. So good news, friends. This week, we get one of my favorite cards in this deck, card number 9, Treasure Island. And as you can see, it's got this beautiful sea turtle who has managed to find this amazing buried treasure. And I love this card for a few reasons. A, it's just an incredibly positive card, as I'm going to get into. But also, a sea turtle is one of my spirit animals. And this vision actually reminds me of a recent vacation we had in Fiji where we got to swim with sea turtles. And it was incredibly magical for me. And I had a really intimate moment with a turtle who really allowed me to swim with him. So this is totally bringing back those vibes. So Treasure Island, what does this card signify? It's all about abundance. It really is about finding the buried treasure. And think about treasure. Think about if you were going to go out looking for buried treasure. Could you happenstance upon it? Absolutely. Is it more likely that you followed your treasure map and you set a course and you had a little bit of a plan and you found that treasure? Yes. And that's what this card is signifying. It's saying your hard work has paid off. Your planning has, you've laid the groundwork, you've followed through on the steps. You have come to a resolution that is really positive and really in your favor, and you're reaping the benefits of it. And this is abundance in many, many ways, because I'm a big believer abundance in one area is abundance in all area, because that's just how energy works. When we're stuck in one area, that stuckness tends to impact us in many other ways. And it's the same with abundance. When we're flowing, when we're receiving, when things are going our way, that really opens up channels of other ways to receive and for things to go our way, right? For all these beautiful abundances. So consider this financial, consider this relationship wise, consider this opportunity, health, resources, whatever things you've had your sight on in relation to abundance and things coming to fruition, paying off, finally hitting the jackpot and getting that buried treasure. That's what this card represents for you this week. So incredibly exciting. I love it myself. I'm taking this one in for sure. The next deck I felt called toward is a fairly new deck by Kyle Gray, Angelic Activations. This one's kind of interesting because each of the cards on the card has an image of an angel or an angelic frequency, and then also the message specifically on the back of the card. So we actually had 2 cards that came out for this, the Shekinah and Raphael. So I want to start with the Shekinah card. So Shekinah, the energy of the Shekinah is like divine presence. It is the aspect of the divine that we hold truly in our physical form. And I love the image of this embodied sense of divine energy. And that's really what this card is representing. And I don't find it coincidental that when you look at the back and you read the message, the tagline for this card is give the gift of your presence. Because look at this, when we're receiving like this gift, this abundance, we now have this coming in this message. I'm going to read it to you here. Give the gift of your presence. Now is the time to show up in ways that you have never shown up before. Get present with those you love and care about. Go beyond distractions and direct yourself back to the current moment so that you can enjoy the blessings that surround you. Instead of focusing on where you're going or what has previously happened, enjoy the beauty of the here and now. And it has an activation with this card. And the activation is, I awaken to the blessings of the present moment. And what I really feel like is coming through here is truly in relation to this. It's being in such a state of gratitude, in such a state of awe and wonder and excitement and true presence with what you've accomplished, what you've brought into your life, what you've been able to receive. And these beautiful gifts coming in is to remember that the real gift is to truly be present with it. It really doesn't matter what we bring in physical form. It's always about how that thing makes us feel, how that experience, how that gift, how that opportunity makes us feel. And this is saying, don't forget the feeling. The feeling is the most important part. Be in gratitude, be in joy, be in excitement so that you can fully be embodied in these beautiful treasures that are coming your way. That's what life's all about. That's what ascension's all about. That's what walking a spiritual path is all about. And the second card that came in, Raphael, was literally right behind this card hiding, as if he wanted to just come in as a reminder. And if you know Raphael, Raphael's an archangel. He's actually my favorite archangel if I had to pick one. And he is the divine healer, right? Mental, emotional, and physical, and spiritual. He comes in for healing. And he also is asking us here on this card to trust our spiritual vision and to trust our knowing. And it's really about anything that needs to be healed for you in order to be fully present, fully in the now, fully grateful. He wants to come in and provide that and know for you that when you're hearing those little whispers and you're getting those little nudges and you are feeling like you're seeing the signs and synchronicities, this is a reminder to trust that. And also know when it comes to divine support, we can also always call on the support to come in and help us. So maybe that is something that's stopping you from stepping into the gift and the presence. And so this is Raphael saying, invite me in, help, ask me to come in and help support in providing some healing or just boosting your confidence in knowing that, you know, everything that you're receiving, you're in full alignment for it. You're fully deserving just by being a beautiful spirit and soul. You are deserving of all of these gifts. And so he wants to come in and support this week. The next deck I pulled from was the Spirit Animal Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. And we got the really beautiful elephant card number 25, Elephant Spirit, Learn from the Past. And I thought this was interesting on the heels of the Shekinah card, which is very clearly saying, be in the present moment. But this card follows up and says, also learn from the past. Being present, being in the now, understanding that the past has already happened, the future hasn't happened yet, the power is in the now moment. Like most of us on a spiritual path, we've heard those things said before, and we try to live by them too, right? And this is also acknowledging, while that is very true, it's also great to know where we came from, to be able to learn from our mistakes, our successes, the journey that got us to the present moment, because the journey was so rich with lessons and things to take to move us into the future, right? And this isn't just speaking to our own personal journey. This is speaking of the journey of our family lineage or our culture or just our human society in general. The things that we've done really well, the things that we haven't done so well, where there's room for improvement, the ways that we've gotten off course, the ways we've gotten back on course. These are all so important. So this is a reminder to not dwell in the past and not live in the future. Be present, but also know that the past, whether we look on it back positively or negatively, had so much value and so much to take away that we can always bring forward with us now and into the future. And then I actually I pulled one more deck. I wanted to do four this time because as I pulled my spread, this card was like shouting at me from my bookcase, this deck, the Animal Apothecary Guidebook by Cara Elizabeth. It's beautiful, beautiful deck. And I think this card wanted to be seen along with this one, right? So if we have Treasure Island over here, this card wanted to pop out for us. Card number 40, the Victory card, which is the beautiful falcon with her crown. She is feeling herself. She is living in her light. She's a sun, she's a rainbow, she's the crown. Like all of my favorite symbols are here in this image of the falcon really standing in her victory. And if you read the guidebook on this, the messaging really is speaking to the depth of this card in relation to discipline. Okay. Maybe not our favorite word. It's maybe not my favorite word when I hear that, but it's a reminder that how we get from here to here isn't by relying on motivation. It's not by relying on moment to moment energy. It really is an act of discipline. And this can be in many forms. This isn't just discipline of the day to day, like, oh, I need to reply to this email, or I need to pay this bill, or I need to have this conversation. We all have those demands day to day. And of course, we know we have to keep up, right? We have to go with the flow of life and kind of get our things done as adults. But this could be speaking to something much more deep here. This could be speaking to just our spiritual discipline, the discipline of our self-care, the discipline of, again, doing the things, prioritizing the things that are really going to move the needle forward for us, rather than maybe just doing the task of least resistance, right? Sometimes I notice for myself when I have a really long to-do list, the things I'm really eager to jump in on are the ones that I'm less resistant to energetically, but they're also maybe not as important as if I had just done the thing that was the one that I was feeling a little eeks about, but that's the one that would have made the biggest impact in my day. So I think this card really came out for me to remind me the beauty and the importance of discipline. And the other thing I want to reflect on with this related to myself is sometimes it's not doing the to-do list. Sometimes it's not the thing that we think is the most important thing to do because someone else is depending on us to do it. It is the discipline of our own self-care, or it's the discipline of our prayer time, our journaling, our meditation, our spiritual practices, whatever that looks like for you. For myself, I know that when I prioritize those things and I do those things with a discipline, because I know that when I do them, they're going to make the greatest impact in my day. They're going to gas me up to be able to do the emails and the phone calls and the other things that are really important. But if I hadn't have done that piece, the spiritual piece, the self-care piece for me, I would have maybe not completed as much on the other to-do list, or maybe not have done it with excellence or clarity or a level of completion that I did because I fueled up my tank first. So this is really what I'm asking you to lean in relation to this message is, how can you best take care of yourself, your physical needs, your spiritual needs, your mental and emotional needs, so that you can face the day with the most energy, the most gas in the tank to be able to make the biggest impact for yourself. I really hope that you soak this reading up like a sponge and let it fuel you as you go through this week of this treasure that you're about to receive. And if you want to see more messages like this, of course, you can follow me here on my YouTube channel. You can also sign up for my mailing list and get some really great inspirational tools and guidance and practices right in your inbox. And all of that information is in the description for this video. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week as we approach the spring equinox. Bye for now, friends.